We're going to have a look at the inside exam that we did in class with this tricky 2-point perspective example. So what we want to do first, we want to have a look at what the question is asking us. It's showing a third angle orthogonal drawing. So what we want to do first is look at the third angle orthogonal drawing and just work out what conventions are shown here. So the big things to note, your front view here looks pretty standard, but this bit here is going back, which means this bit here isn't coming to the front like you would assume it would. So always make sure you're looking at the different views to see any of those little tricky parts. So it is going back. The other thing to look at, from the top you can see a circle, and on each of the front and side view you've got a dotted line. So there is a tube going through, but you cannot see it. So this is a trick in this question. You do not have to draw any circle or any of those dotted lines. It's just to throw you a bit. So just be wary of little things like that. So what we're going to do first, we're going to work out where to draw from, because that, once you get that down, it should be a little easier. You're going to go from the front and the side view. You want to go in between those because you can see both views, and if you're going back either side in a 2-point, you want to be able to see both views. So going from this side bit here is your best bet. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at where the horizon line sits. That's important. They want it to sit through the object. So what you need to do, step 1, come down, draw your horizon line. I've drawn it already, and then I've got 2 vanishing points to get me started. So I'm going to start with my front view and the side view. I'm going to get this part here that's in on both of them. It does say 2 correctly proportioned, and I'd measured that earlier, and that is 8 millimeters. So what we're going to do, using the horizon line, this is sitting below the horizon line, so we're going to draw that bit first. So using a ruler, probably about there, going to measure down 8 mil, and that's going to start us out. So remembering all your vertical lines in a perspective drawing stay vertical. Anything that represents something horizontal is going to go back to either vanishing point. So what we're going to do now, this bit is representing that, but remembering this goes back. So that part there, as you'll see in a minute, doesn't actually, well, shouldn't actually be there, but for ease of drawing, we are going to draw it like it's that part there, and then we're going to, I'll show you a trick to kind of get around that. But it's better to draw it like it is there because it's easier to start with. So we're going to draw straight back to those vanishing points. Light lines, because we are going to rub those out after. Yep. Okay, just finished our side view. Alright, so we're going to get this part in here now. So we can put a vertical in, say roughly about that. As long as it looks like it's in proportion, that's all they want. Going to leave that for now, and we're going to get in this top part here. So I'm going to measure all the way up. That's going through the horizontal line, horizon line, and then up to the top. So we're going to go up to about here. All right. So then from there, because we're doing anything horizontal, remember that goes back to the vanishing point. So I'm going to lightly rule down to get that projection line in, and then maintaining like a good proportion, we can now make that darker. Use your ruler, it's better. All right, so we've kind of got this L in. Happy with that. We're going to move to this side view. So I said before, that isn't in the right spot. The way to work it out, this little bit here represents this bit here. So that bit there is there. So if we measure back about there on our side view, we're able to cut that corner off. So if we measure that up, line up. Now what we can do, we can just erase that one there, erase those lines, and now join those up with where the projection line goes through. All right, so now we've done that bit there correctly. We can now get that bit in there. So just to maintain a good proportion, so pretty happy with that. Maybe come in a bit. Okay, now we can make those lines darker. All right, so this is the bit now that does look a bit tricky, but if you don't panic, just remember anything that is like a feature, an important part, as long as it goes back to a vanishing point, you're pretty safe. So what we need to do now is we do need to get this side view in here, and we see, so we'll put a projection line in actually, we'll get that projection line in just to, so it starts to form and it's a bit clearer. So that does represent this part here. It is straight vertical, which means that can be straight vertical. But we're not going to finish this off yet because this bit is curved, and I don't want to confuse you yet. So what we're going to do, coming from, we're trying to find where this bit here will sit in here. All we need to do that is we're going to go through this key point here to the vanishing point and do a light projection line. Same with this one to this key point. Light. And then that actually shows us this part here. So we can put that in darker now. And that one. Okay, so now we can actually, we've got that bit in there. That bit is going to come up from there to meet that projection line. Straight up like that. We've got our top projection line. All right, we're nearly there. This angle bit now can come in. That just sits from there to there. And then all we need to do is get this little extra bit on here. So if we just follow that angle, pop that little extra bit here, it pretty much finishes itself. So you can add that bit on, following the line out to the vanishing point, horizontal for that one, and that one out like that as well. All right, and then there's no line there, so we're just going to rub that bit out. And there you've got it, all done. So it's not actually as hard as you think it was. All right, good luck.